Hello, and good morning. I'm streaming live. Welcome to this week's Monday Motivation. The motivations that have always been designed with you in mind and designed not just to motivate your Monday, to motivate your morning and your week. And depending on which part of the week we're at, sometimes even your month. Now, these came about because have you ever been faced with either a big to-do list, maybe you're looking at a long line of things and you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, or maybe you even feel like you've been struggling to juggle a few things. At the heart of all of this stuff to do usually is motivation, and that's self-motivation. So Monday motivations were actually born, I'm starting to forget whether it's nearly 5 years now. 5 years ago, we're coming up to 5 years. That they were actually born in 2008, but 5 years ago, I decided to take these online and bring them bang up to date. And rather than you receiving an email, yet another email which you had to read through, digest and assimilate, I thought, why not make these live? So if you ever miss these Monday motivations, do know that they're normally here for you. They don't normally disappear anywhere. They're here for you to watch back throughout the rest of the week. And if you're, maybe you're more of a YouTube person, then you'll find them there on YouTube too. So this week, I asked, just over on Instagram actually, I asked for your questions, like what kind of motivational questions do you have? I asked it a bit better than that, and I encouraged you to private message me if there was a question that you had, and I would share the answer to your question here anonymously. Quite a good deal, huh? Given that I am a life and business coach, and that many people work with me either privately or in my group programs, so they don't normally get this opportunity to have kind of like my eyes on their issue, if you like, for free. So I thought I would try that this week to see what came up. And there has been a very consistent theme. That theme, I think, can be summed up in one word, and that's overwhelm. So this week, if you have been overwhelmed, feel like you've just got so much to do, like too much to do, not enough time, then this episode is definitely for you. Let me just swing my camera around just a tad. There you go. Now you can see all of the plant in the background. So you'll see me looking down a lot this week, and it is just so that I can make sure that I am sort of getting the essence of the questions and making sure that I'm not kind of misrepresenting them. And like I say, this is not something that I do very often, but this week I am doing this, and I will be keeping your names and stuff out of that. So let me just make sure that I'm streaming. I think last week's Monday Motivation. Yes, last week's Monday Motivation, I saw a comment go past, and I went to go back and read it, and it had disappeared. And then afterwards I realised that a few of you commented while we were on live. So if I look like I'm ignoring you, I'm not. It's just sometimes I don't get your message. But what I would like to know is, if you're watching this live and you do have a question about motivation, then type it in the box below. Allow me to answer it. And you might be saying a question about motivation, but I don't know what to ask. Well, think about the things that you might have to do this week, the things that might be on your to-do list this week, and maybe you're finding yourself keen to do it, but just not quite getting started on it. Maybe you're finding it you're procrastinating. Maybe you found that you've been putting it off. If you have got a question around how not to do that or how to stop doing that, and thank you for the love heart from whoever that was, then by all means type it in the box below, and I'll happily answer it live. If you're watching this on the replay, I hope you still get some really great nuggets from this as well. But today, Monday, is traditionally my coaching day, and it's the day where I'm literally back-to-back coaching clients. Hey, good morning, Anita. So if you find that you leave a comment on the replay, I will come back to you at some point in between clients today. So Today, the first question I got from somebody around motivation was they felt like they are looking to go into business and they know that they will be going into business, and predominantly they're a coach. And they said they're good at lots of different things, and everybody keeps telling them that they should niche, they should pick one thing and just do that. Otherwise, it would be confusing. And they've said the thing that they found confusing is the motivation to start talking about what they're doing when they've got all of these different things. So I thought I would start there, because whether you're thinking of starting a business, whether you're an employee already, and maybe within the business you're good at a lot of things, a number of things, but you might feel like you're being spread too thinly. I think this is a great question if you are in any of those camps. So the first thing is that I come across a lot of people, especially when they're either business owners or they are known for something in an industry, who try to categorise themselves in almost like one box so that people know what it is that they do, and they find themselves almost whispering passionately, oh, but what I'd really like to do is this. So the place to start from when you feel like that is actually within. Start with yourself. Ask yourself like what the passion and drive is behind this, because normally it's kind of like life purposey, and quite often when I do speak to people who bring a number of things together in one offering, if you like, or as one person, especially if you're working in a corporate background, they say that the feeling they get when they're able to share the things that they're great at, it feels like they're living life on purpose, which is ironic that so many people go out and try it and seek and find it. So give yourselves just a few minutes. I know you've got a busy day, but this is definitely worth finding it. So the first step to this is go internally, find out more, like ask yourself more about what you love and why you love it so much, and make a note of that. I mean, you'll know the answer to this without having to write it down, but do make a note of that, because as time goes on, you'll evolve more into your story, more into what you're doing. So make a note of that, and start to really tap into almost like the excitement. People talk about the big why, but that can sometimes put pressure on the person to find something that seems like it's profound. And in my experience, it can also encourage the person to feel like they have to present it in a way that is palatable for other people, when in fact, when you can dig into your purpose and your why, it makes a difference. So whilst there's a lot of different things that I do in my business, my main kind of golden thread, if you like, is visibility. It's helping people to stand out. But the piece that makes it feel purpose-filled for me, which means that whilst I specialise in visibility, a couple of areas that I help to share are things like being visible on video, on live streams, being able to present. In fact, I realised through doing this exercise that a presentation isn't just about a good PowerPoint and great diction. Presentations are about you being able to say what you need to say, what you know needs to be said, and sometimes you have to be brave in what you say. It might be something that people don't like to hear. You might be the person giving the only honest feedback. The work that you do might set somebody free, but first they need to hear the truth. And so quite often, presentations isn't about, look at me, this is what I'm doing and it's all perfect. It's often your ability to speak your truth or the truth, sometimes where people might not be used to hearing it. So anything that I do around visibility is often answering the real question that people have. But what do I say? What do I ask? This comes up everywhere. Currently working with a client who's putting on an event, and there's a lot of Q&A segments. And, everybody on the team will often start with, like, I know what I'm talking about, and they're smart and savvy. And they'll often start with, well, what's the best questions to ask? That's another version of what shall I say? What do I say? So my drive actually underneath all of that spoken, whether it's video, speaker training or presentation stuff, is the ability for you to have your say, to really own your voice, and to say it with like courage, confidence, and for those of you in business, consistency. Because if you get brave, build up the the bravery muscle to put yourself out there, that will go in fits and starts. I rather have you do it, courageously, confidently, and consistently, so that you can share your voice, share who you are anytime, at any place that you are, whether it's on the street or in an office, in a studio, on the radio, on TV, and that you get the ability to do it anywhere. Before lockdown, you might have gone on holiday and you might have had a really great insight. Wouldn't it be great that you could just take your phone out and just make a video or stream out online, whether it's on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, or even if you've got a group here on Facebook, or you've got a channel on YouTube, just do something where you're speaking honestly, you're speaking openly, and not feeling like it has to be perfect. So when you have an idea of lots of different things you do, after you've gone and delved down deep into your why, the next piece is really finding the golden thread. What's the golden thread that runs through it? Now, I always kind of articulate this as visibility. And I've been doing this for 10 and a half years. So what I found was, as I spoke to more and more clients, as I got to work close up and personal with them, and sometimes in groups as well, you get to see what's really going on for them. And they used one word, and they still use one word now, which at first didn't fit with my narrative of what I thought visibility was about. They all said, in some way, shape or form, I want the confidence to. I want to feel confident when. They all use this word, confidence. But I don't brand myself as a confidence coach, even though I think virtually every single client on the other end of the work will say, I feel so much more confident about doing this thing. And these are people who are savvy, who are smart, who are already confident. So find your golden thread. If you articulate it in a way that you can talk about, then fine, then brilliant. But also, have a look at what the golden thread is that runs through that. And the good news is you don't have to try and work it all out for yourself. For those of you that are getting started working with clients, this is the reason why I always teach be visible first. It's all well and good making up a nice, website, or feeling ready by, making up a nice freebie that people can sign up for. But actually, the quicker you get into the trenches with your customers, the quicker you see for real what's really going on with them, and the easier it is to pull these pieces together. So if you are what I call a polymath, and many of you, if you're not familiar with that term, it's somebody who's great at lots of different things, and you're looking to really highlight your zone of genius, then have a look at what the golden thread is. So step one, get really intentional and get really present with yourself, and ask yourself this question like, why is this so important to me? What is it that I feel so passionate about? And really kind of dig deep into that. If you're a journaler, journal on it. Second thing to do is to find your golden thread. Now, obviously, I'm kind of throwing this out there in a quick sort of 20-minute video, but find your golden thread, dig deeper into who you are, what you are, and what you provide for people. And the easiest way of doing that is by working with them. If you're in a corporate environment, the easiest way of doing that is definitely by delving deeper into the topic that brings you joy and brings a company joy. And again, you start to get this kind of feedback from your actions, and it gives you more like intel. It gives you more intel, and then you can go deeper in that. So that's what I would say if you are feeling, or starting this week, feeling slightly overwhelmed because you've got lots of things to do. And then the other thing is like the mantra. Quite often, the reason why things take so much longer is because we keep telling ourselves, oh my gosh, I'm so busy, I've got so much to do. Well, what would be more helpful than telling yourself that? Because I'm so busy, I've got so much to do, I feel so overwhelmed, isn't really the springboard that's going to have you, striding ahead and, making waves and making change. So I would say, like, identify what you are telling yourself. It could be that or something else. And then ask, what would I rather feel instead of whatever the thing was, overwhelm, having too much to do, or anything else like that. Now, each and every one of you will come up with a different answer. There's no right or wrong answer. There's no good or bad answer. Write that down. Write it down and see what comes up. And then do whatever it takes in that thing to have it be that way. My mantra is let it be easy. Let this be easy. And once you find an easier way to be as you go through these things, you will start to, emulate those behaviours to follow the thing that you want to do, instead of the kind of invisible affirmation of, oh gosh, this is so hard, oh I can't do this, or whatever your thing is. So hopefully that's helpful for overwhelm. I did get a couple of other questions, but I don't want to go too far along. The thing I will say is this will answer the second question that somebody sent me, where they've said, I intend to do stuff and I just end up putting it off and procrastinating. I would say go through the exercise that I've just, the steps that I've just spoken about, and you'll find that it should make that a little bit more easier for you, because again you're digging into what's inside. So maybe I'll do one of these again and I'll ask the lovely Vibes Tribe. Now if you're thinking who on earth are the Vibes Tribe, you'll find a link for them, or access to get to them. They're a Facebook group here where all these people are committed to being more visible, and many of them already are very visible, very known for what they do, but they're committed to growing that and being even more visible. So if you like a space maybe on Facebook where you can share with like-minded people, but you don't necessarily want your best friends and your family always seeing the comments that you share, unless of course they're in the group with you, then I would say the Visibility Vibes Tribe is a very soft space to land. I'm going to be sharing something a little bit different in there for the next few weeks, which I won't be sharing out here publicly on YouTube or on Facebook or on LinkedIn. If you want to know a bit more about what that is, then hit join the group. You will be asked 3 questions when you go to join, and those questions take about 30 seconds to answer. It's just so that we can protect the environment of the group. It is a pitch-free zone, so if you want to go to a business group where you can pitch your services all day, every day, this might not be the group for you. I encourage you to be visible in a way that where you can demonstrate your value and your worth without pitching. So I hope to see you in there. I hope to hear what you will be doing differently this week as a result. And if you're feeling brave and you want to post publicly onto here, by all means share the thing that you feel that you're going to get done now this week. But if not, and you want somewhere a bit more private, then by all means go over to the Visibility Vibes Tribe Facebook group and share in there. Just use the hashtag Monday Motivation. Can't wait to see what you'll be doing. I've got my calls today, and even though they're pretty much back to back, I love doing them. I love Mondays, but one of my favourite ways to start the week is to be speaking to people about what they want to put out in the world, what they want to do, how they want to be known, how they want to be visible, and all great stuff like that. So thank you for joining me. Special shout out to Anita for the comments below, and I look forward to hearing about what you'll be doing differently as a result of this video. Bye for now.